Just recently, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro took to the public and told the private media, the bourgeois media, to stop spreading so many false stories about shortages in Venezuela. Now, there have been some actual shortages in the last several months, but many of them have been completely fabricated by the media. Not to mention that a lot of these shortages as well have been artificially created by companies trying to topple the Venezuelan government. What happens is, the bourgeois media inside Venezuela falsely reports that there's a shortage in a particular commodity. The public then runs out and tries to buy up that commodity, thinking that they're going to be going without it. Now, recently, with the victory of the Bolivarian Revolution and the drastic increase of living standards, there's been a greater consumption of consumer goods than there has ever been before in the country. Now, this increased demand has the supply has not been able to keep up with the demand, with the gains that have been made. Now, when you add on top of those, which are kind of precarious at the time because increase has suddenly demand and production has not necessarily kept up with that, when you add on top of these artificially created shocks, you're causing quite a problem in the market, especially when it's already either getting to be short or is already short. These acts are tantamount to economic terrorism designed to destabilize the economy in Venezuela. The privately owned bourgeois media inside of Venezuela has been fighting against the Bolivarian Revolution from the very beginning. Oftentimes, the media has been found fabricating stories that turned out to be completely untrue. In fact, it has even assisted in the attempted fascist takeover, the coup against Hugo Chavez many years back, in which it was shown to be covering up police killings of protesters, and instead just showing the footage of the protesters fighting back, claiming that Hugo Chavez supporters were just shooting police for no reason. There's been a lot of rumblings that the capitalist class in Venezuela is dead set on making sure that this October is the last month of the Bolivarian Revolution, and in fact are planning to launch said to be launching a major offensive against it. Nicolas Maduro did speak publicly about it. They have drawn on a crazy dynamic to harm the country. They've gone to guerrilla warfare, sabotaging electricity power to villages. We've been facing this economic war, but now it has a psychological component provided by the newspaper headlines informing what products are going to be absent at the markets. In order to stop these false stories, he has taken to the public asking that the Attorney General, Luis Ortega, create special measures by which the Venezuelan government can possibly prosecute or deal with media outlets that deliberately spread false information with the specific purpose of damaging the economy and causing instability. I have set a date in October. If by then we still see pernicious, unconstitutional, and illegal actions consisting of psychological terrorism and economic warfare against democracy policy, we will take special measures to take another step in the Bolivarian Revolution. Another stage in the revolution will come. There can be no impunity. Such actions aren't allowed even in the world's most developed countries. That's propaganda war. I asked the prosecutor to act sternly against those who continue with the war. In Venezuela, there is freedom of expression, but there can be no freedom to destroy the people and make war on them. We cannot accept that. Now, Maduro has also used much stronger language which may hint towards a nationalization of all private media in the country if the bourgeois media doesn't straighten itself out very soon. The people know that they have a man who can be trusted to lead this revolution on the path we must take, always with the Constitution, on a new and rapid new stage. If the war against the people continues, they will see the face of this Constitution, and I will summon the people and the armed forces to a new stage of socialist revolution. Prepare yourselves for great battles. It should be well noted that there has been a great struggle between the capitalist class and the working class in Venezuela, including bosses' strikes and deliberate withholding of consumer goods in order to destabilize the economy. One of the most notable is almost 1,000 tons of powdered milk being seized from the Zuly Milk company that was being hoarded deliberately to create a shortage. It should also be noted that one of the shortages that has been going on is a shortage of toilet paper. Now, one of, if not the biggest producers of toilet paper in Venezuela, or at least suppliers of it, is the Koch brothers. And trust me when I say this, the Koch brothers and the Venezuelan government are not strangers. Some of that history between Venezuela and the Koch brothers was particularly the refusal of Hugo Chavez to sell heavy crude to the Koch brothers. Now, when he wouldn't sell it to them, they had to look elsewhere for it. They turned their sights towards Canada and the Keystone Pipeline, which was intending to bring heavy crude to Texas. In addition to this, in the past, the Koch brothers filed a lawsuit against Venezuela over a $1 billion fertilizer plant. It is certain that the Koch brothers and Venezuela are not on good terms. What we may be seeing here is the endgame for the situation between the Venezuelan revolution and the capitalist class there. Over the last several months, particularly since the death of Hugo Chavez, the antagonistic contradictions between these two groups have accelerated further and further. And it seems like at this point, it might be getting ready to break out from quantitative changes to a big qualitative change. Now is the time for the Venezuelan government to seize the media from the capitalist class. After all, he who controls information is almost guaranteed victory. It's very important at this stage in the acceleration of the contradiction between the two sides that the Venezuelan government step up and deliver a death blow to the capitalist class in Venezuela before they deliver one to the Bolivarian revolution. Me personally, I say do it. Screw the threat to Maduro. Just go right out there and seize the entire media from the capitalist class. To hell with them. Don't even let their class be able to say anything at all. Don't give them a platform on which to speak in order to spread lies. All they are doing is sabotaging Venezuela, sabotaging the country, hurting the people in order to protect their own profits. Despite what they may think in their own minds, human lives are actually more important than profits. If they will stand there and harm the people, blow up oil refineries, cause shortages, disrupt power to villages, then to hell with them. Just take the means of production right from them, seize the media from the capitalist class, and put it in the hands of the revolution. If the capitalist class wants to cause shortages for the people, then I say have the people march in and take the means of production away from the capitalists. Let the people speak for themselves. Let the people produce for themselves. This is the way it should be. If the capitalists are only going to try to sabotage things for the people, then the people should stand up for themselves. Stand up against the capitalists who are doing this. Stand up against the bourgeois. Stand up against their lies. If they're going to make the people go without, then take the means of creating it away from them. Seize the means of production and put it in the hands of the revolution and build a better society through the abolishment of the contradiction between the capitalist class and the working class. Venezuela needs to take this important step right now and step up its game in revolution. Don't let this thing fall to revisionism. Don't let the revolution fail. Things in the world are starting to get really out of control right now. There's a lot of talk of a huge economic collapse coming next year. And the market mechanism sure as hell won't protect us, given the fact that it is responsible for it. To Nicolas Maduro, get out there, start cracking some bourgeois heads. Because if you don't, very soon, they're going to be cracking yours. And they're going to be cracking those of the people. Thank you for watching. Go ahead, rate, comment, subscribe, share on various social media. And if you want, there's some other great content here you could check out.